Hi, Daily Dosers. Today we are continuing in our Dose series, Be Still and Know That I Am God, and really just with this concept that God is in control. And there's so many moments. I don't know if you guys have had a moment like this, but there's moments that'll catch me off guard where I'm reminded that my life is very feeble and that at any moment it could be over. And I don't know, it just kind of shakes me out of my boots a little bit to be reminded of that. Like when I just was about to turn left, my arrow turned green, and I saw these people coming at me. They had a red light, and it looked like they were not gonna stop. But I kind of always distrust people about that, so I was like, I'll be fine. I'll just kind of keep going. At the last minute, I hesitated, and I barely missed them as they went zooming through their red light. And it just was kind of one of those moments where I was like, my day could have looked very different after that encounter, or this day could have gone so different, or my life could have gone so different, or you almost have this accident, or you do have an accident, and you're like, in the blip of a moment, as much control I thought I had of my life, there's actually very little that I control sustaining everything. And so I think right now, if I needed to remind everyone that we actually there's a lot of things in life we can't control, you're like, well, duh. That's most of the life we're living these days. And so something that I have found to be so encouraging and rooting through this entire season of life, and through many of us kind of walk through different seasons where life just feels crazy and we need to be grounded in something beyond ourselves and something beyond what we can control and something beyond what we think we control. And actually in the moments when we're brought to realize that we don't have control, what a gift that is of God, that we would be so foolish to think we actually controlled anything in the first place. So the book that I always go back to, it's kind of embarrassing that I literally always go here, is the book of Colossians. And I guess I'm not embarrassed by that. It's a really good book of the Bible. Y'all should check it out. But it's this section in the first chapter, and it's even just under the title of the supremacy of the Son of God. And so I'm just going to read some encouraging verses for this that have just been really grounding as I think about how God is in control. And it says this about Jesus: the Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and things on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And it goes on to talk about how this is the God who's reconciled us out of our death into life. He's the one who's reconciled us away from him, back to him. And this is the God that we serve, the one who it is all things have been created for, and all things have been created by. And for me, as I can kind of get in my zone going through my life, like I'm in control, and like I have all these decisions to make and to respond to, and there is so much power in using biblical wisdom and discernment and humility as we continue to wisely walk through those decisions. And yet at the end of the day, may you and I remember that we follow a God who everything in all of creation was created by him and for him. And so if we could just start shifting our perspective, that as we walk through a day where we might want to be in control or where we feel so out of control, that perhaps the best and only response is to be so sure and so confident that as we do make decisions going forward, and as we do spend time and want to use all those things wisely, that if we're doing that through the lens that actually everything that I've been given up until this point has actually been for God, and that I can continue to view a lens that it's all been created by him, sustained through him, and it's all for him, that we're actually going to find a lot more peace even amidst things that seem like we don't have control in the first place. So be encouraged by the word of God. It's all for him and it's all by him. Have a good day, Dosers.